Video I will show you how to get page views in PHP and MySQL. So this is the index page of my website, and if you look at this post has got two views, and this post here, actually this is article, this has got 46 views and 3 views. So in this video I will show you how to enable this feature in your website. So if I click on this news piece and try to read it, initially it has two views. After clicking on it, you can see here this has got 3 views here. So if I again refresh it, 4 views, 5 views. So in this video I will show you how to achieve this functionality in PHP and MySQL. Look at this, this has got 23 views. If I look at click on it, it got now 24 views. And if I click on it, this got 6 views now. So we can achieve this in PHP and MySQL. Let me show you the structure of my database that I have used for this website. This is CCK database, and it has admins, category, and posts. In post, it has ID, date, time, post title, category, author, image, post description, and slug views. So this has a column views. So when any user reads any news piece, we have to get the ID of this news piece and then increment its views by 1. So this I have to use a simple PHP function here, inbuilt function. Sorry, this is a user created function, and then increment it. Once I get the ID of this post, then I have to perform the SQL query operation and increment views here based on the ID. So for that I will go to here. Inside any PHP file, you can create a separate file for this and create function inside the file. So I will create function in this database.php function, and then function name is get visitor, and here it will take ID. Inside this function I will first create variable IP and assign it a IP address. So for that I will use super global $_server, and I will pass remote _ADR. So this super global variable will give me the IP address, and that IP address will be assigned to this IP variable. After that I need to check this IP variable whether it contains IP address or not. I will use if condition. If then not empty $IP. So if this IP is not empty, that means a user have clicked any post and he is reading any post. I'm creating here a new database connection and db1 query, and inside I will pass the query. SQL query is select where id is equal to the id that this id here. So this is a simple SQL query that will give me the views of post based on this id. Whatever the id that post will be, it will give me the views here. You can see it has column views here. After that, now I need to execute this query and store the result in result variable. $db1 so this will execute this query will be executed by this function result set, and result will be stored inside this variable. So this result will contain the views, the view of that post. This result will contain views that is actually in array of objects. So far that I have to use for each loop, for each dollar result as $res, then again for each loop $res as $r, and here this result contains array of objects. After that, I am using 2 for each loop to iterate through the object and get the view. So this R will contain now views. Here I will create a variable new views is equal to, and I will assign it this $r because this contains the views. But before that, I need to pre-increment this ++ $r. So first of all, this r will be incremented, then new incremented value will be assigned to this new views. Let's say this function get visitor got id 45. So after checking here, select views from post where id is equal to 45. So in this database table, it will check the 45 record, 45 this post, and then increment view 11 by 1 because I am using ++. This will increment by 1. After that, I need to execute another query. The first query will fetch view of the post, and this is incrementing the variable. This r contains 11. After pre-increment, this 11 this r will contain 12, and that 12 is assigned to this new views. $db1 query. Here I need to update this views of this id 45. So what it does is it will update this SQL query will update post set views is equal to new views, that is 12, where id is this id, that's passed to this function. After that, I need to execute this query. For that, I will use db1 and then result I will use execute. Now this function is completed, and I need to execute this function inside this document. So this document PHP document, I will call this function get visitor inside this document. You can see here I have this show dot, let me save this first, show.php. what it does is it will get the URL. You can see the URL here, this URL, using this get method. So basically what it does is it will get the ID based on this URL here, and after that I am getting the ID of this post, ID and post title. You can see the select ID and post title from post wire slug like this or category like this limit 1. After getting the ID, you can see I have used the get visitor and passed ARR 0, because this ARR 0 will contain ID, because the first column here is ID, then ARR 0, then ARR 1, then ARR 2, 3 and so on. Now this ARR 0 will contain ID of this post, that is this post, Instagram, Facebook, to allow these users, and I am calling this function here. So every time dynamically new ID will be passed whenever the news piece is read. So if I click on here, it got 22 views. So this is how we can achieve this functionality in PHP and MySQL. You can do it on your own project using this concept. Select all from post where and using where clause, and then executing this using this result set. This it will give me the result, and this result contains array of objects. Here I am iterating over through the result variable, and I am using this array ARR and assigning each column value to this ARR I. Now ARR 0 contains ID because ID was at first column, ARR 2 contains date, and I am using here ARR to print the content in my HTML document. So for views, you can see here span class pub ID and views echo R, because this R is the last column views. ARR 1 contains date, ARR 0 contains ID. So I am printing here using ARR.